I was recently unemployed for a couple weeks, and in my boredom I started practicing my sculpting skills in Blender. I thought it would be funny to have chess pieces where they've all got human faces, but quickly realised I might be onto something here, and I thought how about I make a 3D co-op multiplayer game in Unreal Engine 5 where you play as these chess pieces. So I put a prototype together with basic movement and an over-shoulder third-person camera. I used to really like how Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare felt to play, and I took a lot of inspiration from its movement and controls. However, this ugly prototype character isn't exciting to look at, so let's prioritise the chess pieces to start with. Here are some concept art I drew up. I really like the idea of the four main pieces, each having two weapons, a movement ability and a defensive ability that relates to their actual chess moves in chess. But this is way too many steps ahead, I'll come back to this in the future. I returned to the sculpts I was experimenting with earlier and refined them to higher quality. These models are too detailed to be used in game right now, so I created a second set which was more simplified, and I baked the details from the high poly models down to a bunch of textures that could be used on the low poly models. Notice how the same details from the high definition model can still be seen on a simplified one. Marmoset toolpack makes this process really intuitive. To finish the characters, I put some stylized textures together and painted their bellies red to make them look more organic. Here's how they look in Unreal Engine. The brightness sometimes seems off between Substance Painter and Unreal, even though I'm using the correct colour space and compression settings and everything, so this is something I'll come back to when I've got a bit more level art to use as context. But in the meantime, let's add some animations. Choosing characters with no legs or no arms significantly improves how quick I can develop the game, but I have to ask honestly if you'd prefer to have the hands attached to the body. Yeah, please let me know, because I don't want it to appear too abstract, but at the same time, if Nintendo gets away with it, it only seems fair. I rigged the characters in Blender, using the same skeleton for all the pieces, just retargeting to their respective proportions, even a pawn which has no hands. In theory, this lets me share animations across all 6 characters, saving a lot of time redoing work and fixing bugs. Weight painting the mesh allows me to assign the bones different parts of the character mesh, so they can be animated and imported into Unreal. Thankfully, anyone who has used Blender's NLA editor will know how streamlined and user-friendly the FBX file format makes the process. The animation blueprint is a script on a character that controls the animation logic, using tools like blend spaces, state machines, triggerable montages, control rig, and my newest and favourite of all, layer interfaces, which allows me to nest and swap out smaller localized animation blueprints in runtime for the hands and faces. First off, I made an idle and walking animation, which I blend between, depending on the player speed. The bishop's proportions act as a good middle ground to share the animations from. I also have a jump and airborne loop which plays when the character is not on the ground. This state machine adds some liveliness, but still feels unnatural. Blending in some additive leaning, depending on the character's acceleration and deceleration, feels like the bishop's actually got some weight behind him. Next is the slot used to play the animation montages. I have an additive falling animation, which plays when the character impacts the ground, and it could be used for taking damage in the future. Currently the face animations don't convert well at all between the characters, so I created a separate linked anim layer blueprint that would be made bespoke for each piece. I'll leave it blank for now, but when I was testing I had this infuriating bug where the airborne animation would play, causing the bishop's head to bob from side to side. I did everything I could to get rid of it, but it would still play, even when it was deleted and removed from memory. So if this ever happens to you, I found the only solution was just to recreate the setup on a new layer and delete the old one. This bug persisted for embarrassingly long, and I swear I used to feel my head swaying from side to side, asleep at night when I was dreaming about Unreal Engine. But anyway, the hand animations weren't retargeting between the bishop and the other pieces, so I made a separate linked anim layer for this too, which I'll use later to give each character their own personalities. Just like in real chess, each side of the board has their own arsenal of machine guns, sniper rifles and shotguns to choose from. I'll be focusing on the bishop, which I want to fill a long-range reconnaissance role. I modelled a prototype sniper and pistol and created animations for equipping, reloading, firing, cocking, and aiming them. This logic took a long time to set up. I made a linked animation blueprint for each weapon using some similar tools as how I animated the rest of the body. The weapon switches out the old animation logic for the new one when it's equipped. To be honest, the gunplay feels pretty decent already, and I really want to start quickscoping pawns already, but I don't have the system for damage yet, just a function that prints bang to the screen. I accidentally made the pistol automatic as well, but it's way too fun to use, so I think I'm just going to keep it like this now. I'm really enjoying making this game, and I want to keep updating you about it. I've uploaded a Steam page where you can go ahead and wishlist it right now. I want to release it by Christmas 2025, but we'll see how long it takes because I'm developing this in my time off work. I've also gone ahead and made a Discord server where I'll be posting some more frequent updates about it, so let me know if you have any feedback or questions over there that you want to ask me. And thanks so much for watching.